The boat in front of me is a Grand Banks 42, and I'm with Dave from Broken Bay Boat Sales, who are brokering the sale of this fantastic boat, which has a fantastic, very interesting history, which we'll tell you about more when we get on board. But we'll do a full walkthrough. Really keen to show you what this boat's all about. It'll be a really ideal cruiser for a couple or maybe a small family. If you know Grand Banks, you know that they've been making this style of boat for many, many years, many decades in fact, and the design hasn't changed much over that time, which is a real testament to just how popular they are and how sought after they are. So we'll step on board, we'll do the full walkthrough and show you what it's all about. So we're going to come straight in and have a look at the main deck saloon. And I think we mentioned at the start, this is a 1990 model Grand Banks, and you can tell that it's obviously not a brand new boat, but I think it has aged particularly well. And I'm quite partial to, you know, the older boats, particularly the use of the teak woods, and the aesthetic I think is really nice in a traditional sense. Just in front of me we've got a nice C-shaped dinette for at least 3 or 4 people, which is great. As you'd expect, lots and lots of natural light, which you obviously need. There's a space here for a television, which obviously is fantastic. Just a little further forward, I noticed this cabinet here, which is serves a couple of purposes. It's a little cocktail cabinet, which is terrific. A place for all your stemware and glasses, keep them from rattling around. And then underneath, we've got space here for some other things. You could use this obviously for a variety of purposes, but nice to have that space there. Lots and lots of big windows, as you can tell. It's a bit of a gloomy day where we are today, but nevertheless, lots and lots of light in here. Very, very comfortable. You can see that the helm, which is one of 2 helms on this boat, is just in front of me, and we'll come back to that in a second. But this has a galley up configuration. I have seen other Grand Banks where the galley is 1 or 2 steps down, but this is really nice. It actually comes equipped with quite a lot of refrigeration. There's one just in front of me here, like this, which actually is quite a good size, and there is another top loading one. Hopefully you can get a good angle of this. There we go, which I think could be a freezer. I'll ask David, I'll put that in the description. And there is another one outside near the aft cockpit, which we didn't show you, but a good amount of refrigeration. A 4-hob electric cooktop there, microwave. We won't open up all of these drawers, but there's obviously all the storage that you need for a decent length of cruising. Sink, even that you would need, you've got here, and a lovely view out too. Let's look at that. Directly opposite the galley, there's a door to the starboard side. Obviously, if you're captaining the boat rather, you want that ability to scoot yourself out and just have a good look to see where you are positioned if you need to bring the boat into marina or a berth. But let's enjoy the look of, you know, this classic Grand Banks helm. And if you're buying this boat, I think one of the reasons why you're buying is because you love the traditional trawler style of the Grand Banks. They pretty much pioneered this style of boat, which been making since the 1960s. If someone will tell me if that's not quite correct, but I'm pretty sure it is. We've got the engine controls. We'll tell you more about the engines a little bit later in the video. We've got the engine controls there, gears there. There's a bow thruster just there. We've got the Ray Marine. There we've got chart plotters. And then above us, the VHF radios. Everything that you need to keep yourself safe. Terrific. All our electronics. All here, the switches. There's some spaces underneath here for some of the essentials. You might have spotted those stairs there. We'll zip down and have a look at those in a minute. That's down to the 2 head, 2 cabin layout. But while we are here, let's just move forward. You probably noticed the teak rail caps all the way around. I think they're a particularly nice feature. Again, one of the reasons you buy the Grand Banks is for features like that. You do feel quite secure walking around this, and of course, if you're buying this and you've got, you know, smaller children, you know, that's something you'd want to consider. As is what you might do with this section of the boat. At the moment, the current owners haven't got any sort of sun pad or cushioning here, but you could definitely do that. You could have those made, and you could make that an area for you and your guests to come up and enjoy some sun, but at the moment obviously it's not. We've got all of the things that you'd expect here, the anchor gear, windlass, all of those. It's a bit gloomy, isn't it? The sun was out earlier, but it's ducked away just at the minute. But there you go. We're going to head back up there onto the Flybridge, show you what that's all about. It's quite a good socialising space up there, and we'll move back down the port side. Again, it's nice, comfortable, quite a wide space actually for a 42-foot boat. These are teak decks all down this side, which is lovely. And I'm going to just spin left and head up onto the Flybridge like this. And it's a very nice space, a little larger than I was expecting to find. I'll come all the way back just underneath this davit winch here. We'll talk about that in a minute, so you can get a full view of the space that we've got on offer up on this Flybridge. But there you go. As it's configured here, we've got 2 lounging, sort of like in an L-shaped section here, one on port and starboard side. This table leafs up or down, so that can be, you know, a little bit smaller if you want more space for walking around. And as it is, if I sit down here, it's a very nice place to bring some food up and have your breakfast or lunch or dinner. We've obviously got the bimini up at the moment, so you've got plenty of shade, so this would be a very, very comfortable, entertaining space, socialising space for you and your guests, and some space still for, well, you could use that for whatever you want. Just back from the Flybridge is the space for the boat's tender, and if I pull back, you can see there I've got this. I don't think you'd call that a crane. I think you'd call that more a winch, like a davit style winch, to manoeuvre that tender, which at the moment it's not on the boat, on and off, but good to know that you have that all sorted out. Here's the second of the helm positions. Again, pretty much replicated as the one we saw on the main deck, with the Ray Marine there, the throttle, the gears, engine throttles there, another bow thruster there, and a terrific place to come and sit down and enjoy the journey. We've got the clears on today, so obviously you would have noticed that, but if I stand up, you can see that's a terrific view out over the bow of the boat, and this would be an absolute joy if you were the owner of this, to be up here underway. There's another couple of bench seats there, just to the port side where your guests could be. Come up and enjoy this space with you. But it's a lovely Flybridge with a good amount of space, and for a boat which accommodates 4 people, or a few more out on a day trip, you'd be very comfortable. You'd be having a great time up here. Terrific. All right, there's 2 more spaces I'd like to show you, and we want to go down onto the lower deck and have a look at the accommodation, and then we also want to have a look at the engines. And as I'm doing that, I did mention that this boat had a particularly interesting pedigree. This boat was actually built by Barry-Cotter. Now that name might not mean a lot to everybody, but Bill Barry-Cotter is really the grandfather, or the godfather really, of the boating industry in Australia, where I'm from. He founded Mariner Boats back in the, I think, late 60s, early 70s. And then he moved on to and founded a company called Riviera, which you might obviously have heard of, and then sold that, I believe, in about 2002, and then founded Maritimo. And this boat was actually built by Bill Barry-Cotter, so fantastic pedigree. We're in the first of 2 staterooms, if you like. This is obviously, we're up in the bow, and this would be a good spot for your guests. If maybe it's for a single person, or maybe a couple of smaller children. But there's space just there, and then there's also another space here just above that. So quite a flexible arrangement there. There's a good amount of hanging lockers just here. We've got the television set up just there. There's another little storage space just here for things like remote controls, but you could put anything you like up there. Lots of nice natural light. That's that opening hatch that we saw when we went up onto the foredecks. And there are 2 en-suites on board. So the first of those is here. I'll just pull back and make sure that you can get a good view of that. In fact, I'll even just pull it back all the way back so you can see we've got the shower just ahead of us there, and that teak on the bathroom floors there, the ensuite floors rather. Excellent. That screen pulls all the way across, of course, so you can make sure the water's not splashing into everything. And that's the first of 2 en-suites. And the second services the owner's cabin, which is this one, which is a really nice double size cabin. You can see there that we've got nice storage drawers just there, and underneath the bed as well, and obviously just to the starboard side as well. Obviously all air conditioned, flat screen television just there, nice natural light. It's a very, very comfortable place to be. Good amount of headroom as well. I've got 3 or 4 inches above my head, so that's not a concern. And this is the second of the en-suites. This one has just the toilet and the basin there. Some storage in behind here. Little sections that slide across. And then of course, if any of your guests are wanting a shower, they'd be heading into the main bathroom, which is across there. But really nice sized cabins. Again, a 42-foot boat, so you're not expecting huge cabins, but these are very generous in size and very, very comfortable. And as I've said before, I am partial to you know, some of the more traditional looking aesthetics, and Grand Banks definitely gives you that. So the last place I'd like to show you is the engines. So we'll come back out of the lower deck and we'll move into the main deck and we'll jump down and have a look at those. All right, so while Dave's very kindly holding up the engine bay locker, I'm going to just lower myself in and I'm going to squeeze all the way forward, and then I'll spin around so you can see what we've got. There we go. There we go. So it's powered by this pair of Cummins diesels. They're turbo diesel 6-cylinder engines. These will produce, you know, around about sort of 200, 210 horsepower each. And in terms of speed, I mean, really, it's a cruising motor yacht. And so you'd cruise comfortably in around about 9 or 10 knots, very comfortably, and that's really probably how you'll be using it. I'll just spin around because behind me you can see here we've got the generator just in front of me there. What else can I see here? I think we've got the batteries just behind me over there. You can see all the fuel tanks there. I'll put some information around other things in the description just there. But there you go. Very, very nice, very neat. And for a boat that was built, what, 1990, that's 34 years ago, it's presenting extremely well. All right, let's move out of here. We'll go back up into the main deck saloon and we'll wrap this one up. So that's the Grand Banks 42. I hope you've enjoyed that one. It's a really lovely boat, and of course it is for sale. And if you are interested, or you might know someone who's interested in acquiring a lovely boat like this, all of the details on how to do that, contact Dave from Broken Bay Boat Sales will be in the description, so you can definitely do that. But I hope you enjoyed that one. If you like to leave a comment, share this, give it a like, I'd also appreciate that. But I think we'll leave it there, and I'll see you next week on another video. Bye for now.